We are live. The Arsenal game's on. We don't need none of that in our lives, yeah. So we're going to stay away from that, yeah. You guys are all here for one reason and one reason only. It's to catch up with the Duke. I know it is. You come for your Manchester United update on how they're going. He's smiling at the moment, which that says one thing. Man United won this weekend, and Ollie is safe. He's safe. It is time for a Manchester United update with the Duke. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm all good. This weekend. It went from not great in the week to now okay. So, yeah, I'm happy.
All right. First of all, let me introduce my guys. I've left them out. Steve's not looking happy already. I'm sure I'm going to get a private message in the private chat and what's going on. Yeah, I understand, Steve. Top corner, I have my chief scout, Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
How you doing, Kieran? Hello, everybody out there.
I'm good. And bottom right, I have the voice, aka the marksman. It's Jerome Marks. How you doing, Jerome?
Hello. Yeah, all good, thanks. Got the fish tank behind me, so keeping out of trouble.
Yeah, at least it's not that tarpaulin, that death pool tarpaulin that you put out. Yeah, his name's not marksman for a reason.
I'm sitting opposite that at the moment.
Oh, is it? And bottom right, we've already introduced him, but it's so good. We're going to introduce him twice. It's Nathan Ellington. How you doing, Nathan?
Yeah, not bad.
All right, so Man United. Before we get on to the rumours that we heard first, how did Man United do this weekend? And you seem happier, so they've won. But come on, how did they do this weekend?
Just the Saturday, yeah? Just yesterday.
Yeah.
To be fair, we came out, we was really looking at it from the get-go. And went the goal down. And then I thought, okay, here we go again. But we just kept going, didn't stop. I could see Fred was not having none of it. He wasn't having none of the sloppy play, the slow play. He was just making sure everyone was moving that ball as quick as possible. And then, even though it's off the cuff, you got to move it quickly. And he was one of the ones like dragging everyone forward. I could see it. And then you see obviously Bruno, he came into his own, made things happen. And then got a lucky second goal as well, where I think Rashford should have scored that. Don't know why he's missed the header completely there. But obviously Bruno gets 2 goals, and then he sets up Cavani for the last minute goal as well to just seal things off. So in the end, it was a workmanlike performance. It wasn't a great performance, but you can see that everyone wanted to make sure they won for Ollie. So I was really happy that we got the 3 points. It's one of them things, isn't it? When you're playing, sometimes you say, you know what, I'll take that. I'll take them 3 points, and that's what it was. It wasn't particularly great football. Like we should be dominating them kind of teams, and we're not yet. And that's what I was feeling. Even though we were winning, it was like got backs against the wall a bit here at times. We shouldn't be really letting that happen. But it's the process again. So I'm happy with the 3 points.
Did it feel like it had a bit more structure this week?
Let's not use that word structure. There is no structure there at United. It was all off the cuff, attacking wise.
Still,
I understand tactics is not structure. That's a total different thing. He's got defensive tactics. He understands where he wants his players, who to stop in the other team, and all of that. He's pretty good at that because, to be fair, he's beaten the big sides quite a lot of times by putting out the right tactics to stop them and then to obviously do well on the other side. But what I'm talking about is attacking structure. There was none. Again, it was just all off the cuff. But good thing is we had more players on the pitch that could actually, we were told, if you keep it moving, something will open up. And we did. Even you saw Luke Shaw now crossing balls in because he's scared of his position. Don't know why he wasn't doing that, from since he came. Why has he not been getting forward crossing? He's set up 2 goals now. Yeah. 2 goals from 2 crosses this 1 week. He hasn't ever done that in 1 week.
But to be fair, I saw a bit of Luke Shaw crossing in the Arsenal game, and I thought to myself, if he did that a bit more, it'd be a bit more dangerous because he's got great technique. Yeah. Even though he was whipping it in early, he was still manages to get it around the penalty spot. And I thought, we need to stop Luke Shaw from doing that. But he didn't really do it as much after that. But he's a player that's got that in his locker. Why do you think he's not doing it?
I think he hasn't got. To be fair, I don't think he's got the engine to keep getting out and keep getting back. And it's too much. It might be too much to ask of him. The type of player he is, he might not be able to handle that up and down. So sometimes he thinks, you know what, I'm not going to go over. And again, it's down to structure. Again, I think if he knew he was going to get the ball every time he sprints 100 miles an hour up that way, then he would do it more. What you see is tentative players. They're like, oh, they're going like 80%. Oh, does he see me? No, he doesn't see me. Let me slow down. And then what you see sometimes, he doesn't see me. Let me slow down. Then the ball gets through and then he goes on it again. And it's like, you don't want that. When you look to Everton, although they're Everton, what you found is the left side, Luca Dini, he plays the ball up, sprints past and on the inside, and then he gets the ball back through without even needing to look because he knows he's darted into the space and the ball gets put straight back through. That's the kind of stuff he's told. As soon as you play it, make sure you're overlapping or inverted, get inside. And you got to make sure, you got to do it at 100 miles an hour. You got to do it on the front foot. And that's not what we've got. We never get on it and go because we're not told. And that's why I was telling you before about all of the players. When you pick it up, that's why you see players lose the ball who you shouldn't lose the ball. But don't you think it's a bit funny that every single central defensive midfielder, whether they're Matic, who's played for Chelsea, played in Champions League, won things, or whether it's Fred, who they say keeps losing it, or whether it's McTominay, they all lose the ball in that centre defensive midfield position. Why? Because they don't have
nowhere to go.
They don't have the free options. They're supposed to have at least 3 options at every time. Anyone who gets the ball, you're supposed to have them 3 options. But because it's off the cuff, players are not there. So then when you go, oh, who's on me? If you watch the Liverpool City game, what do you see? You see lots of pressure as soon as the ball goes on their men, but they still have the outlet because they're in the right positions. That's the difference with Man United and them guys. We don't have them outlets because we don't know where we're supposed to be because he lets us do what we want when we get on the ball.
So going forward, surely that's going to be the thing that inevitably loses Ollie's job is the lack of structure, because unless the players take onus on it to do it themselves and speak amongst each other and say, look, be here, make that run, keep making that run, it's never going to happen.
Well, this is the thing. You've got managers, obviously, who let people play their game. You've got managers out there that do that. But there's only so far you can go. But what you've got with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is if he gets his right players in, they will be able to do it themselves. But again, to only a certain level. Now, I think if he had some wingers in now, we'd be a much better outfit than we've been because we'd have that balance to the team. Yeah. Because at the moment, look, if you think about it, if you got a diamond, you're relying on your fullbacks to get forward cross balls in. Now, like I said, Shaw has only just started doing it. Wan-Bissaka isn't like the type of guy who gets down and crosses in amazing balls all the time. They need to be like the Teles of this world, like the Trent Alexander-Arnold, like the Kyle Walkers, like the Robertsons. Them guys, they get down, and even from a bit deeper, they're putting in balls. They can see them round the back, and they're like, there you go, there you go. United don't do that, and that's why we're where we are. You can't have Diamond and then expect the fullbacks not to do that. And then you can't go with the width and have no one who can dribble players and then cross balls in, or the wingers are not wingers. That's a problem again. And then when you play the Diamond, the fullbacks are not like the fullbacks we need. So you're missing something. Every single time you put a formation out, you're always missing something because United, you've got to pick your poison, don't you, right now? That's the way I see it. You pick your poison. With one player, you got an amazing attack, not the best defense. Then you got another player you put him in for his defense, but he's not got the attack. You know, it's everything. In every position, you got them kind of problems. So, nightmare.
But you got the 3 points, edging up the table, slowly moving away from that bottom half, because that's a psychological thing your fans don't need as well, because that will be getting on people like Ollie's back as well. One thing we did hear during the week, this is from our sources as well, and plus this one was out in the papers on the socials. Man United representatives met with Mauricio Pochettino's representatives. They had a meeting on what Thursday afternoon to discuss the possibility of taking over in the managerial role at Man United. Is Poch something you'd want? Is he the man that you'd want?
You know what? He he definitely would bring exactly what I'm craving for at United. And the thing is, Solskjaer's brought in these players now. Obviously, we still need a few more, but if he comes in, we get that structure that I'm talking about. Yeah. These boys go to another level. Like, end of the day, he took Tottenham to a top 2 type of team with the players he had and the money he had. Didn't have much money. Or I don't know whether he didn't have much money or he just didn't get great players in. I didn't like the way the players too many players he bought. I didn't really think too much of them, but his team was amazing. If I think back now to playing Tottenham, I was always confident, always. Yeah. Up until the last few years when he was in charge, I was like, man, we're going to get roasted here. That's
they got different energy, didn't they?
Yeah, they were amazing football. They all knew their jobs, and they were just great. They're great to watch. And if he was able to bring that in, it just brings us to another level. That is the difference, and that's what I was saying about Solskjaer. I don't want to see him lose his job.
Yeah,
but if he's going to continue playing the way he's playing, it's only inevitable is going to lose it because we're going to continue with the inconsistent wins and losses all the time. Because it's going to be, guys, we didn't play well today, but why? Off the cuff. Okay, next week you played well. Oh, the boys played well today, and why did you lose this day? Oh, because they didn't play well. Okay, why did you win that day? Because they played well. It's not that you can't be that straightforward, if you know what I mean, and that's simple in your explanation why we lose and win. You've got to have more to your game to get to them top levels, championship winning teams, Champions League winning teams. You've got to take it to the next level, and that's why I said if he doesn't bring someone into his team, Solskjaer will possibly be gone. If he doesn't put someone in, and it looks like he's not, is it? So
no, it doesn't look like he's going to bring anyone into his team. It doesn't look like he's going to get the help from Ed Woodward anymore because it feels like he's at the end of his tether with Solskjaer himself. But what he does have is he has the owners backing. They want to give him a 2-year extension on his current contract. And Ed Woodward's the opposite. He wants to bring in Pochettino. Pochettino's outlaid what he wants to bring in. He'd like to bring in Harry Kane. He'd like to press for bringing in someone like Son, which means he's already got ideas for bringing in another winger, type forward player. I think with Son, he's got that work rate as well as his lethal in goal, and his speed is just a different level. Yeah. And even a few reports that are going around, we haven't heard it ourselves, but a few reports going around that says Julian Nagelsmann is another one that Man United would consider as well. Again, he's a player, a manager who is all about structure, is all about giving his players specific instructions and so it would work along that lines as well. Maybe lack of experience, but still, it's an exciting manager to have. How long do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got though? That's the thing. Doing it the way he's doing, for me, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, to be fair, it's going to be inconsistency again and again and again until he gets his wingers in, and then it might be a little bit more consistent. But I think he won't have enough time until then. That's next season. That's the end of the start of the season next year. I don't think he'll have enough time for that to happen. It's weird because if you look at it, he has done well from what he's got, from where he's come from to where he is now. They've come third in the league. They beat the big sides, a lot of times. They've got far in. They got to the finals of Europa. They ended up, we've gone on a away winning form that better than ever, really. Mm-hmm. So he's done a lot of good things. So this is what things that things I really don't like. There's so much that I've got to recognize that he is doing well with. Mm-hmm. And that's what hurts, the fact that he could lose his job because of something like this. And it's just like, what do you do? I'm indecisive right now whether I think I want him out or want him in. Last week, he should stay, but only if he's going to bring that extra bit of something. But if he's not, I can't see him staying, and I wouldn't want him to stay too much longer if he's not going to make that happen, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, because you got to be looking for the long term, because what you don't want is you don't want this to be prolonged, more damage to the team, confidence-wise, even down to bringing in any wrong players. It's something you don't need. You've got the international break now, though, and then when you come back, West Brom, and hopefully you get your revenge on Istanbul at home this time.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? You play against the teams you expected to beat, and they're the teams that are becoming, that are banana skins at the minute. So it's about, is he going to continue with the same team? Is he going to change it up? Is he going to start giving people minutes that deserve minutes? How is he going to keep everyone happy? Because right now, if you stuck with that same team as Saturday, going to be a whole load of people and a lot of money that the club paid a lot of money for, just sitting warm in the bench. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But I expect us to beat that, the Turkish team. I can't remember how to say it, but I think
Istanbul Bakashtara, I think it is.
Yeah. I expect us to beat them on the second leg.
Yeah.
And it's just one of them things. I think it's just one of them games where you just end up losing away from home sometimes.
I think it was. I think people look. It wasn't a great game for Man United, and no one even can answer that goal that Demba Ba scored because the defending was awful. But it's. I think a lot was made of it. A bit too much was made of it. Away games in any European competition, there's always a banana skin in there. It always happens. If you look at the long list of teams that have beaten English teams away from home in anywhere, it happens. And especially a new team in the Champions League, or a team from Russia, or a team, just any of these random teams, it happens. It's just where it goes on from here. You managed to get the win against Everton, which I know you were saying you shouldn't be getting backs against the wall with these teams, but Everton are a different team than they were last year. It's not just the old Everton. They've got James Rodriguez, Allen. They brought in some really good players, and Calvert-Lewin on tremendous form as well. So it's for me, it's a great 3 points, and 3 points it's taken off a team that will eventually be in and around the top 6, which is where Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, they are. So it's taking points from teams that are going to be around you in the end. Like I said, the international break's come. It's come at a good time. Let's see that if Ollie can get through it and then get back and get the points against West Brom and again Istanbul.
We'll see. I just obviously it's one of them ones where you don't think you're going to win, you win. And then when you think when you're gonna win, you end up losing or drawing. So I just hope we get them wins where we expected to win as well, and then I'll be happy again. So,
all right, thank you very much, Nathan, for your Man United update. We'll see you for the next one, and hopefully it's good news. Hopefully there's some more structure. Maybe they may be bringing an assistant for the assistant that's already there at Man United to help Ollie.
Let's hope so. Let's obviously enjoy the international break, which I don't like. I just want to see more.
I don't think we need it right now either.
No.
Especially with the injuries that are happening as well. So, but anyway, it's been good to chat. Good to give you my update and my opinions, and hopefully see you next week or the week after. Anyway, or the week after, whichever it is.
All right, sweet. See you next week. See you later, man. Take care.
Cheers, Nathan.
See you, mate.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
And just in good time, we're just about to get Mr. ElClasico on right now. It's Joan Luque. How you doing, Joan?
Hey.
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
You all right,
I'm
Joan?
all right. I didn't have the announcement button for he scores when he wants, because the goal scoring record of this man right now he's on fire, people. He's on absolute fire. Love to see it, man. Love to see it.
I can't complain.
Can't complain. Neither can the supporters at Maidstone, mate. Doing a great job. Well done. Well done.
And congratulations on Player of the Month, mate. Well done.
Congratulations.
Well done, Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Great start.
Keep doing what you're doing. All right. Let's get on to the real meat of this subject today. It's Real Madrid. And the Galacticos are not so Galactico at the moment, I have to say. They're still winning things. They're still doing what they're doing. But it seems like there's some, I don't know, trepidation. It seems a bit, I don't know. It's a little bit confusing for me, because Zidane, he won the title last year. He's coming this season, and I mean, what's it? 7 games, 5 wins, 1 draw and a loss, and they're talking about possibly replacing him. Joan, tell me you're not one of the ones that wants to replace Zidane already.
No. No, I just want like some fresh people, I think, at the club. I think there's people like, I would say, like Asensio, Lucas Vázquez, Nacho, that they could be replaced by better players.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's people getting old, like Modric in the middle, for example, who we've got Valverde at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But we need some like young people, like quality people as well, not just young people, or like a couple good signings, I think have to be made. But yeah, it's like at the moment they're not finding the consistency, I think, in the play, because they lost against in the Champions League against Shakhtar. Then they gone to ElClasico and won at the Camp Nou, but they lost again at home to Cadiz, which is just they got promoted from Segunda. And then they beat Inter, and it's like you don't know what you're gonna expect for the next game, you know. Like for example, now they playing, I'm watching it and they playing alright, but come on, I need to score, you know, I need them to score.
It's a tough game away from home against Valencia, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a tough one. This is
always.
A tough one, but Madrid has to win always.
And those are the expectations that Madrid fans have. Steve, can you believe that there's any talk of potentially Real Madrid getting rid of Zidane? The talk of there was talk last week when they were saying that Mbappe would still be no issue coming to Real Madrid even if Zidane wasn't there. I was like, what am I reading?
No, not at all. I mean, I know. I mean, people at Real Madrid. I mean, you can win the Champions League. You can win. You can come first, and you can still get the sack. Real Madrid have to play a certain way, and if fans or if the people upstairs are not happy that they're not playing that certain way, then you'll be out the door. But it's funny with Real Madrid this year because, you know, they've gone on, they've done well. They've won a few trophies, which normally any team would be, you know, satisfied with. But like Joan just said, there's something missing, and as I say, it's probably a matter of the older players and the way they're playing. And there seems to be like a new sort of you know, changes of the guard. And because what's happening is now they are bringing quite a few bits of youth in. You know, they've got Kubo, Undergaard. You know, they're starting to bring in the youthful players in, and that goes again. You know, with what Joan said. But last season, I mean, yeah, there was people saying this, that about them, but you know, they still won. They won the Liga. They didn't do it the way that the Real Madrid fans wanted them to do it. I mean, they wasn't scoring 4 or 5 goals every week. I mean, I think their third top scorer was Casemiro, and I think he scored 4 goals.
Wow!
And I think Sergio Ramos scored more than them. And obviously, we know Sergio Ramos is a centre back.
He's a striker centre back.
He's a centre back. But overall, I think
because he struggles defending.
Yeah. But I mean, they had a really good season. I mean, I don't know if we'll go on after. I mean, there is things going on behind the scenes that, you know, with their sponsors, that's going to sort of stop them from buying. So they may be have to go the way of the youth. Hence why we're seeing Undergaard. Hence why we're seeing people like Kubo and, you know, maybe like Joan and Jerome will maybe add a few more to that. But there's a sort of doing. It's like it's weird to say, but it seems like they're in transition.
No, I was just about to get onto that. But one of the biggest transitions, Joan, you had to go through is getting over Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, everywhere he goes, when you take Cristiano Ronaldo out your team, you've probably got to add in 2 new players to take his spot, to score them goals, to get them assists, because his record speaks for himself. You still managed to win the league without him. It's just taking that next step further in moving on from the likes of Benzema, moving on from the likes of Modric, as you were saying there. One of the things that's come out recently in the papers is that Real Madrid are currently in talks with Sergio Ramos about offering him a new deal. One of the things he's asking for is that he wants a deal that will take him up till the age of up until 2024, which will make him 38 years of age. I know Real Madrid have a policy of only offering a year extensions on players over a certain age. Is this the answer? Is it or is it, would keeping him be a good idea to maybe have that bit of experience in the team while you do bring them youth players through?
I think it would be good and bad, because obviously you can see that when Ramos is not playing, for example, it was against Shakhtar, I think. Who was it? Militao and Varane at the back, and you can see there's no leadership at the back, so they struggle a little bit with someone. Like, they need someone to say, "Hey, like, squeeze," or all these kind of things that all the defending leaders like Puyol had, Barca had it with Puyol as well, and now I think Piqué has stepped up for that leadership role, but obviously. In another, looking into another perspective, is defending wise, yeah, he can score he can score headers in key moments sometimes, but it's about defending. You need the centre back to be good at defending, and you could see against Inter Milan that his tactical, I don't think he's a top player in my opinion, of course. Yeah, he has to be one of the best defenders because he's at Madrid and he's been classified as one of the best defenders in the history. But I don't believe he's that good defending. It's more of a leadership defending and making people around you better than actually defending, because he relies a lot on his physicality. Yeah, because he's tactically is not as good as maybe Varane, who covers him a lot. Or it's the same. I compare him with Puyol, but obviously with a better feet in the with the ball in the feet is miles better than Puyol. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one because obviously I will do it year per year. Let's see how you feel. Like always, Madrid does.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing for the player.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, for the player himself, he's going to want that long deal. He wants that security.
Yeah.
But for the club, it works the same way. You can't really. I mean, Jerome, would you be offering a player who's 34 what he wants as a 4-year deal?
It's probably not the wisest idea, is it? I know you've probably got to take each player on a case-by-case basis, but yeah, 4 years for a 34-year-old seems a bit extreme. I think a good idea would be like a rolling 1-year contract, but the players have all the power, don't they? If they don't get what they want, they won't sign anything.
And if he's sort of wise to the situation that Real Madrid are in, they can't exactly go out and spend a lot of money right now, can they?
No, it's such a key position as well, isn't it? Centre back.
Yeah, and as Joan's saying, the experience that he has and the leadership that he has, where are you going to buy that? So it is. It's a tough one for Real Madrid.
What about Marcelo, Joan? What about Marcelo, Joan? I know we had a conversation a little while ago, and wasn't Marcelo, too sure if he's someone. Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry.
In my opinion, he has there's no more minutes for him. In my opinion, Mendy is miles off him at the moment. He's so good. he's gave Madrid a really how to say, like consistency, like defending wise, he's made the team loads better, in my
Right.
opinion. So
Was his
I don't
legs
know.
got? Is it his
I don't
legs
know.
gone? Is he just lost legs?
Yeah,
Yeah. Is he just?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the same. It's just getting old. Like, yeah, he was top draw. He's been one of the best in the history, in my opinion.
Mm.
But now it's like Mendy is ahead of him, and like the stats show it. Like every time he plays, Madrid has a bad result.
Yeah.
That can be
No.
like a coincidence all time. Like it can't just be a coincidence. If it happens once, all right. But the last 7 games or the last 5 games he played, Madrid has conceded more goals than any time, and they lost or they drawn. So it's like Mendy gives you that security at the back, but he's also good going forward. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a massive transitioning period. Steve, I remember you just saying about the finances at Real Madrid. COVID's hit them hard. They didn't bring in a player in the summer, did they?
No,
No, I don't think they did.
I mean, they concentrated. Sorry, Joan, go on.
yeah, no, I think it's only loan players players like Kubo and like Odegaard. I think they just brought them
They
back.
brought them back, yeah.
Yeah.
So them, like a lot of other Spanish clubs, they were in trouble, but they seem to have maybe done the smarter thing in not buying. So long term, it would help out because I mean, if you talk about Barcelona just down the road, they're in a situation where their prospective new president before is saying that they're bankrupt. The players will have to,
They are.
players would have to take a 70% pay cut. Oh, I've been asked to take a 70% pay cut recently beforehand. They'll be asked to take a pay cut again. If they refuse to take that pay cut, the board will take it upon themselves to cut their wages. And then if the players then get involved with what their equivalent of the PFA is, the Players Association, then they can have their contracts terminated. It's a serious, sorry state of affairs down there. And it seems yet they still brought in players.
And it's not just that. I mean, there's other things that are going against them. I mean, Adidas have had to turn around and say that they're going to have to stop their 100 million a year deal with them
Because
they just can't afford to do that with them no more. Gonna have to look more into it. The airline, Emirates, they was doing a 40 million a year and thing with Real Madrid. They've told them that they're gonna have to stop that
because there's no flights.
No, exactly. And in the process, they've literally got rid of nearly a whole team.
Yeah.
You know, like Hakim. We was all saying, Joan, that at one point when Hakim went, we was all thinking like, what? Why are they selling this guy? You know, but maybe now we know that they need to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, they got 36 million for him. I mean, you could say he's worth more than that. I mean, I know Jerome's a massive fan. I mean,
but now we play with Lucas Vázquez at right back. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but see, that's what they've got to do. That's where the trick is. That's how they make their success. If they can get rid of players like Hakim and play players like that, then that's how the Real Madrid conveyor belt will keep going. I mean, Reguilon is gone. Rodriguez, Orilo. I mean, obviously Bale's gone. Reina. I think Zubo's gone back out on loan, isn't he?
Yeah, they've got a lot rid of. James Rodriguez went on a free, but that was to get rid of the wage bill. One problem Barcelona had is their wage bill was, I think it's 70% of their revenue was put on their wage bill. Real Madrid were conscious of that because it was pretty much very similar, and they've slashed it by getting rid of players on the free, on the cheap, on loans. It seems like they're doing the smart thing. But what's the next step? It's either trying to bring in players through your youth ranks, or it's somehow manages to bring in these names that keep getting touted about that you'd be looking for ages at, such as Mbappe, who's not going to come cheap, Haaland, who's not going to come cheap. It seems like the best way to go would maybe be bringing through some of the youth, and you've got some good youth there. Jerome, I know you had a good look at the Real Madrid youth. If we go through some of the youth players there, and we'll see if they've got what it takes to sort of help Real Madrid out of this situation here.
Yeah, I mean, Joan will probably know best in terms of whether they've got it or not. But regarding the youth players, Martin Odegaard, who's had a couple of loan spells, he's being talked up as being like the heir to Modric.
Definitely.
So he's had a couple of loans, and I think the first initial loans, he didn't really sort of catch the eye. But his recent one at Sociedad, he started to people started to take notice of him. John, do you reckon he's got what it takes to be the heir to Modric?
Yeah, I think so. Like, for example, today, like I'm watching now, and like I can see Isco playing, and it's like he's not like fit, or he's not as good now.
He looks heavy.
When he played. Yeah,
Isco looks heavy.
All these minutes that he's getting. Why can like Odegaard is now coming from an injury, but where's Kubo in this moment? Why not playing Kubo in this moment? Like he showed last season with Mallorca that he was good enough for the league. Like he was a step ahead of that little, like not small club, but that level, like not for like fighting just for relegation. And obviously you've got Odegaard, who I think is more than good enough to take that role from Modric. But at this start of the season, the games I've watched, you could see he's like kind of like shy, not as brave. Like maybe that, of course, to have this badge on your on
heavy
your shirt,
badge.
It's a heavy badge. But you could see he's not like flowing as he was like with Real Sociedad. Like, I think he has to like just take the weight off and then enjoy and play how he really knows. But he's more than capable of, I think, in my opinion, because he showed last season at Real Sociedad he was smashing it. Like he was the best player of the season for Real Sociedad, if I'm not wrong. So
it reminded me of Mesut Ozil a little bit on the ball.
Sorry,
he's very comfortable, great vision. The way he ran with the ball, he reminded me of Mesut Ozil and his pomp at Real Madrid.
The thing is, if you're that sort of player, you have to be confident. You have to be confident in your own ability, confident that everyone else backs you. If that ball doesn't go through, it doesn't matter. You got the next one coming, and they know the ball's going to get through. Pass through.
I think he's playing like too safety at the moment.
Yeah,
like too shy, too safety, just not making mistakes and not risking as much as he was doing. But as soon as he starts like risking and playing as he was doing, like people will see he's so good. Like I've seen some, like you could see highlights from last season. He's done unbelievable at Real Sociedad and like brought them back to Europa League, I think, or if I'm not wrong. Or even close.
That will come with game time. Being able to have that confidence, 100%. That comes with game time. And
what position is the best he plays in, Joan? What position is the best that you would play Odegaard in?
I think it's like as a 10 or like midfield, but with freedom, like to be able to move, like to be anywhere in the pitch, and then obviously defensively just take a role to help the team defending as well. But like attacking wise, just give him like freedom to go whenever, like anywhere he goes, like anywhere he wants, and just get the ball and try to like beat people and try that final pass, because he will like have the picture. He will have the picture and he will see it. Like there's some players that can't. So
Yeah,
he's someone different in that aspect. So
yeah, there's not many players that are about that have that vision, can see the things that other people don't. So when you do find them, they've got to get some game time. Jerome, who were the others that looked like they were sort of smashing it at that level?
So I guess the main two are probably the Brazilian wingers that Madrid have got, Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo. That they both spent a lot of money on, 20 years old and 19 years old, but they look so exciting. Maybe Vinicius Junior slightly more eye-catching than Rodrigo in terms of all his skills and what he can do with a ball. But Rodrigo looks sort of just as effective. What do you think, John, about those two players? Are they good at Madrid level?
Well, they shown the Madrid level. Obviously, Vinicius has to improve in like finishing and decision making. Like all the rest, he's top draw. Like his pace is just beating people for fun. Like difficult to stop. Obviously, he will get in a position where it's like a 3v2 and he will make a wrong decision. So it's just it comes out to nothing. But obviously, in the other side of the coin, you've got Rodrigo, which seems like he hasn't got that much pace, but he's like more how to say, like seems like experienced. It's like more calm on the ball, more quality. Like I think his quality is miles better. Like he managed the ball, decision making, finishing is miles better of Vinicius, and he's also got the 1v1 and all this like Brazilian sharpness, I would say, or you get what I mean. But in my opinion, like Rodrigo is better, but he has to step up and say, "Look, I'm better."
I'm the man.
Obviously, that comes with minutes, but he's shown like every time he plays, he does well. He scores, he assists. So
with Rodrigo, am I right? Did he have an extra season in Brazil? Could that possibly why he's got that decision making over Vinicius? Because we saw the other day. I'm sure you saw it. In the tunnel with Benzema saying to, I can't remember who it was, but Vinicius is having a poor game, don't pass him the ball. That kind of thing's going to do him no confidence, is it? And he's going to see that.
Yeah, but if like I didn't heard at any time like he was talking to Mendy, and I didn't hear any time I'm saying Vinicius, like, but like. Yeah, like you can't say that, but you talking, there's cameras everywhere. I don't know. Like,
it's just been smarter to have a word with Vinicius. Pull your socks up.
Yeah, no, but I get what he means. Like, because sometimes, like now, for example, there was a 3v2. Like I was saying, I'm watching the game. There was a 3v2. Vinicius on the ball, and he just gave it away. And it's like, come on, 3v2. You're a Madrid player. You have to win in the goal.
Yeah,
come on.
There's a point.
So
nothing.
Yeah, but
you're
it's just funny player, sometimes. Man. It's funny. So it's funny because he will do like the how to say, like the hardest bit. Like he will beat 3 people, but then he will miss a pass, or I don't know. It's just so weird.
But he is only 20. Like he's only 20.
Yeah. Don't forget the age, because
go easy on him, Real Madrid fans, because he's a talent. Steve, I mean, Jerome's just reeled up a few names there, and obviously you got Tubo as well, who was on loan again this season at Villarreal. What would be the best way for Real Madrid to get out of this? Sell all their biggest assets and bring through youth, or keep.
But I think the best way, if it could be done, would be the way that we just said, when you can sell a player, like Hakim, and bringing someone like the guy who Joan just said. But I think at the moment, I think it's very clever what they're doing. I've sitting there been listening, and what's been going over my head. I've sort of been looking at the way they played last year, which ended up being a success.
A bit more pragmatic than the normal Real Madrid, wasn't it?
And they went on and won the title. So we can't forget that. But they was formidable defensively last season, absolutely formidable. And while we've been talking, and you talk about the players who were in that Real Madrid defence, you can see why. But obviously the goals are not coming, and the excitement, going forward is not there, and that's where the youth is at the moment. So at the moment, I think it's just a matter of keeping on bringing through the youth. Obviously, they've got to keep getting rid of some of these older players that are still at the club.
So are you offering?
Keep bringing the youth.
Sorry, are you offering Ramos a new contract?
Yeah.
On his terms.
I'd stick Ramos to the goalpost and stay. I mean, he's one of these player that we was talking about recently when we was talking about Maldini. He's one of the places you should never ever let that guy leave the club. Whether it's on the pitch, whether it's as a manager, he'll be manager of Real Madrid one day. I ain't got no qualms about that.
It'll be Xavi and Piqué upstairs. No, sorry, that's Barcelona. I nearly lost my mind there.
Yeah, but no, I definitely keep him. I definitely give him what he wants. He deserves it. He deserves what he's done for Real Madrid over since he's been. He deserve it. But yeah, keep for now. I mean, the Real Madrid fans, what they want, they're going to want. I mean, we'll ask Joan after, but what I think the Real Madrid want, they want to see attack, goals. But I think at the moment, just accept that you've got some fantastic, incredible, phenomenal talent, and as far as the youth goes, bring them through. Keep the defensive, line the way it was last season when you went and won the league, and for me, that's the way to go forward. And I just want to ask Joan. I mean, as a fan, do you accept with the defensive way that Real Madrid are playing at the minute?
Oh no! Like you can see today.
No. Love it.
They gone 1-0 up at Valencia, and half time they're losing 2-1. Like you can tell, there's no consistency in defending. Like last season, so that last league that we won, Madrid was for the first time the keeper. So Courtois in this case was awarded with the Zamora, I think, which is the keeper who conceded the less goals in the whole league. So this season they're struggling to defend, to keep the clean sheet. Every game they need 3 goals to win, and you can't score 3 goals even being Madrid every game.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the most concerning things at the moment as a fan, is that they can't just keep the clean sheet. It's so hard for them. With Shakhtar Donetsk, with Inter de Milan, Barca, of course, that's a different case. But even against Barca, I think last season was 2 clean sheets.
Yeah.
If I'm not right, 0-0 and then 2-0 at home.
Yeah.
So
would you be sorry to see Hazard go?
Sorry?
Would you be sorry to see Hazard leave?
No, I don't want him to leave. I got the shirt, I got his name on my shirt.
Yeah.
$75 No, I think he just gets to get fit, to get to the standards that Madrid asks you. As a Madrid player, you have to be the fittest one. You have to be as fit as you could be at your.
Hello.
And action. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you talk about defence and Real Madrid fans. They are not having it. Their internet goes. They stop talking. They're just like, no, I'm not having it. But as
here he is.
We're back.
We're back.
Hazard,
We're back.
Joan.
Yeah, no. I mean, with Hazard, like, he just have to like step up to the levels. Like, he came back, like, as soon as he signed, he came back for pre-season. He was fat. Then that got him not in the best of the levels. That got him injured. Then when you come back from an injury, your body is like not asking for another injury, but it's the best time to get another one soon.
Yeah.
So he got another injury, and then now he has to find that like consistency in like games and not getting injured and taking care of himself and getting to his fitness levels to be performing at the best as well. So, but no, I don't want to release him. Of course not. Like, he's a top like player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you go into a team like Real Madrid, you're in the Premier League. You're at a level. When you go to Real Madrid, you have to step it up another level, because the expectations of the Real Madrids and the Barcelonas, it's not just the club, it's the fans as well. You've got to keep happy. It's the players. It's everything. You've got to step it up on so many different levels. And I don't think Hazard took it seriously. I think he was riding off his talent again when he got to Real Madrid, and then you don't turn up to Real Madrid pre-season overweight. One of the things that you was just saying earlier is about the defensive style. I don't think I'd be looking at it like this. Atletico Madrid are currently in a situation where they're probably the biggest challengers apart from Real Madrid. Barcelona, they're not out of it, but it's going to be a very long, hard season for them. For me, if you could win another league through making sure you got defence first and then you hit forward, I'd do that. It's a transitioning year. It's going to be a bit of a mad one. Hopefully, no more stoppages with the leagues. But it's still the situation is still not football. It's not 100%. So if you could win it in that way, that's how I'd do it. Joan, what's your expectations? It's a silly question. What's your expectations and minimum requirements this season as a Real Madrid fan? Win the league, win the Champions League.
As a Madrid fan, your expectation is always winning everything.
Yes.
But obviously, you have to be realistic. And as you were saying, transition periods and bringing like young people, it's always risky. And because obviously to win like Champions League, even like for La Liga, maybe it's a bit easier. But even to win La Liga, you have to you need like experienced players that have that composure to deal with the pressure that the badge that you're wearing brings you. But obviously, to win the Champions League, they they really need to step up a level defensively. And I think I'm missing like a style of play from Zidane. I think he's just like good managing people and managing the dressing room, but he hasn't really got like a style. How Madrid plays, like I don't know the style of play. Yeah, of course you've got the best midfielders, the best attackers. You're gonna have the ball, you're gonna move it, but I can't see really some patterns of play, or like I'm missing that. It's sometimes just they just leave it on like individual talent, which is not always working. And obviously, as I was saying before, you have to score 3 goals per game in the Champions League. You're gonna be out in a group stage. So hopefully we can win the league. Of course, La Copa del Rey as well, because that's something you can win. And obviously in the Champions League to get as far as possible. Last season, I think we were a bit unlucky with the 2 mistakes from Varane, but we even with the mistakes, we stayed in the game and like we were causing problems to City. So maybe we need like a big signing like Mbappe to make the difference up top as well. Because Vinicius and Rodrigo, they step up. But as I was saying, you have to always make the best decision. Make the like every single action you do as a Madrid player, you have to like be at your best. And you can have like little things to improve. Yeah, they always have like things to improve in, but not as big as like decision making or finishing. Because if you're 1v1 and you're a Madrid player, you have to score. You can't miss it. You know what I mean? And that's what happening sometimes, because Vinicius will go, like I was saying, 3v2 or 1v1 and he will miss it. And then you've got Lewandowski or I don't know, like Gnabry, for example, for Bayern, who was just scoring for fun. So that's I think the biggest difference at the moment.
Yeah, that is the difference. That is the difference. That's what we're looking for, boys. Get in front of the goal and score. Steve, what would you say expectations were for what would be a good season for Zidane and Real Madrid?
Well, as long as Sergio Ramos carries on being prolific, I can't see anything else but Real Madrid title win. But no, being serious, I think Barcelona have got too many problems at the minute to even worry Real Madrid. I think they're building nicely, Real Madrid. I think they're building nicely. I think they're doing it right. They're getting players out nice and slowly, and they're bringing good ones in, like we've just spoken about. Champions League, I think they've got. I think they're at least semi-finals, at least the semi-finals. The only reason why I might not say finals or win is because as I say, they're still in a bit of transition. There's still a lot of young players there, so maybe they fall a little bit short on that, just a bit too much. But I think they'll not walk it, but I think with they'll have plenty of points, in front of Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. I think they'll win it, and probably maybe both cups as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think currently Barcelona are too far behind, and they've got their own problems. They've got to try and. Well, I don't think they're going to be in a position where their club will go into administration. It just means they'll have to be bailed out, which is what they don't want.
Bailed out, boom, boom.
Yeah. Atletico Madrid, they're always a threat, but I think Atletico Madrid are not the same team they were a few years ago when they were actually a threat on the title. They've tried to be a bit more expansive going forward, and that's been to the detriment of them defending at the back. But I just still don't think they've got that right balance to really challenge for the league. I think this is Real Madrid's to lose, and I think they'll win it. Copa del Rey, you never know, and Champions League. It's a tough one because it is about that consistency. It is a Champions League that you'll get done by any team because it's a very. It doesn't matter in the Champions League. You can get done by a team that's from the Ukrainian league. You can get done by a team that's top of the Turkish league. It will catch you off guard if you're not concentrating, if you're not to your best at any point. But again, like Steve said, I can see him doing pretty well. I can see him quarterfinals, semi-finals. This is Real Madrid. You expect nothing less, no matter what team they're transitioning through, no matter what team that they've got. And even in it, as we say, the word transition, when you've got players like Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Benzema's still in your team. When you're loaning out players like Rainier Junior for 2 years to another team that's in the Champions League in Borussia Dortmund, it says that you've still got something there. Martin Odegaard, like these players are not transition players. They're players that I think you just need to. Zidane as a manager needs to find out what system they play best in to get the most exciting football out of these players. And that
Is
just comes.
Jovic playing?
Jovic is there and he's playing, but I think they're trying to play him through it. But from what I saw of him, I've seen him in 2 games recently. He just seems shot of confidence. Honestly, it feels like he doesn't even want the ball. I don't know what you think of Jovic, Joan, but when I'm watching him, the ball's bouncing off of him. He just doesn't look like a Real Madrid player. And that's probably me being harsh.
No, it's you. You're right. Like, you're right. So there's, as I was saying, like there's some standards when you play at Madrid, you know, and if you're not at least on those standards, like you can't be playing for what is like probably the best, for me, the best club in the world. So it's just the case of like improving a lot or just being replaced, because there will always be someone else to take your place when you're at such a big club. Like they will always be looking like, all right, you're not giving me good performance, you're gonna be out. That's as simple as that. And that's something, like as we were saying, we're in a transition period at the moment. So that's something that is happening. But with some people, like with some players, like Isco, Lucas Vazquez, I don't know what's not, like, I'm upset that it's not happening with them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but I think Isco, I think some of these players, it's just time to go. Isco is a very good player, top quality player. But for him to be at your club doing so well and then drop off, it's not like he's old. He's dropped off. He's put on weight. He looks heavy.
It seems like he's just like too comfortable at the club. Too comfortable at like Hazard. For me, when like last season was like, all right, I've signed for Madrid. I've become a dream true. Like I'm done. Like I just have to enjoy life now. And it's like, no,
let's just start.
You're signed for the biggest club in the world. You're just starting now.
Yeah,
you have to play your best every game now.
No, that's exactly how it felt, and it felt like that. That's how it feels with Isco. It feels like it's probably time to move on. You shouldn't be getting that comfortable at a club like Real Madrid. Feet firmly under the table there.
Haaland to be someone who would be fantastic.
I mean, these are the answers: Haaland, Mbappe, Camavinga, Pogba.
Yeah, Camavinga. I want that Camavinga.
Yeah, I think everyone does, Joan. Like it's Camavinga is the name that's on every manager's lips for that central midfield role, because there's he's like an open book with what you can do with him. There's a lot of talk that he was a DM. It'd be a waste to play him DM because he's passing range. He can dribble. He's got pace. He can score goals, which is why Real Madrid want him. I think these are the names will be the ones that they will eventually be bringing in, and it's just over the next season and a bit maybe. It's probably time to start getting rid of some of the old boys that are there and some of the older names that are not old boys, but like you said, as we've just been saying, are probably getting a bit too comfortable. But I don't think Real Madrid. I don't think Real Madrid are in any danger at the moment. I think it's. I think they're doing all right, considering COVID has hit everyone in Spain very, very hard. Real Madrid still have an excellent team there. Joe, that is our Real Madrid section over. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome to come anytime you like. Come and talk about any football. I know you know your stuff. It'd be always good to get a player's perspective, a coach's perspective on any topics we're talking about. So you're more than welcome anytime, mate.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, man.
I'm glad to be here again, and I'm gonna watch the second half. Hopefully, we come back and we win, because what? It's
2-1. It's 2-1. Real Madrid, if no one's seen it, are currently 2-1 down. Rafael Varane has scored an own goal, but and Carlos Soler, who was linked with Arsenal in the summer, has scored the equaliser. And if you're not keeping up to tabs on the Arsenal game, for any Arsenal fans, it's pretty disappointing now. They're currently 3-0 down against Aston Villa. I think it's still 3-0. Yep, it's 3-0, and it looks like it's all but over for Arsenal. 3-0 against Aston Villa. Glad I didn't watch that one, eh? Horrible.
I'm surprised about that one.
Yeah. Sorry to jinx you, Joan, but obviously I've jinxed you by you being on this pod, and your team came on winning, and now they're losing. So I'm sure they'll pull it back in the second half and win the game as soon as you're off the pod. All right, take care, mate.
All right,
cheers, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much. All right.
Yeah.
We will.
Enjoyed that. It was good.
We will quickly have a little chat about Barcelona, because I know Steve's done his homework. I know Jerome's done his homework. We've got a little bit to talk about with regards to the situation with the new chair, with the new president coming in, the lack of money. I know you probably want to hear a bit more about the bankruptcy issue, players they're talking about getting rid of. What do they do? All right, let's start. Let's start with the boss. Ronald Koeman's come in, and I'm just going to say he has clearly been brought in to do a kamikaze mission. He's come in, to get rid of Messi. He's come in to get rid of Suarez. He's come in to get rid of all the names that are owned in that dressing room. There was too much power, and they've got in a disciplinarian to sort it out. Yeah, there's managers coming in and going out. And you've got to ask yourself, why are they changing managers so often? What is it? Well, it's obviously the power of the dressing room. They felt they had to split that up with Messi and Suarez. They did that, but Messi wasn't happy. His best mate got sold, and they didn't do it in the nicest way. From where basically they were told live on TV that you're not here anymore. They said one of Koeman's comments were, Ajax are after Suarez, and he said, good for them. There's something of that ilk, which it was clearly laid out early doors that he wasn't part of his plans. Former Barcelona assistant coach Juan Carlos Núñez has urged patience with Ronald Koeman, and says that, and as I've seen and I've done my research, Koeman's not a manager that ever hits the ground running. He has a very specific style. He wants everyone on board because he is a disciplinarian, and that's not going to come overnight. But what is it that? What do you think of the new boss coming in, Steve? Ronald Koeman.
Well, he's probably the last of the worries of what Barcelona's got at the minute. But as far as Ronald Koeman's gone, I mean, I don't know about you two guys, but I was quite shocked when he was named as Barcelona manager. He doesn't come across as a Barcelona type manager to me.
Do you know what it stunk of, Steve? It stunk of jobs for the boys. Friends in high places. He's loved with Barcelona. He is an icon. They love him there. They love him. There is a player. I don't know as much as a manager, but they love Ronald Koeman. And I think when you're around Ronald Koeman, he probably gives off that vibe of because he would have been around these people a lot. He probably gives that vibe of, this is what I would do. I wouldn't have that. Oh, there's problems in the dressing room. I'd stamp that out. Ronald Koeman's look. He's taken a job in Holland, and Holland is very well renowned for having egos in the team. He's managed to turn Holland into a team to the level where people have expected Holland to be for years. Even when Holland got to the World Cup final, it was a Holland team which sort of not stumbled to it, but it was like you could see it was a team of individuals, a team of players going their own way and doing their own thing, and you'd hear things in the background about how they were arguments amongst each other, and he's brought that team together. He's managed to get the right ingredients to bring that team together, and it feels like this is what they want to do at Barcelona. If that means him having to get rid of some of the other people in the team that have sort of got a bit too much power, then so be it. But what are you saying?
He don't. I always look at the Barcelona manager, someone that comes in and just lets the players get on with it. He don't come across as that type of manager. He comes across as a type of manager who will come down and, as you said, like he will lay down the law. He will put people into their place. Where I don't think Barcelona have worked that way. I don't think that's their, that's their ID. Do you know, over the years? But he may very well come in and it may be what they need for this amount of time. As far as Koeman goes, as you said, all I can see him being is the man that comes in to shake a few heads up, get rid of a few players. As far as actually taking them on to Champions Leagues and the Liga titles, not. He does not come. He does not come across to me as like someone who's going to lead a Barcelona team to them type of honours. Might be wrong.
But do you not feel that they've brought him in as maybe a stepping stone, as maybe someone who, he's not going to be the guy that does the job, but the next guy. But the next guy ain't going to be able to come into this Barcelona team, get rid of Messi, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and still be loved or have that sort of, I don't know. This is what I meant by the kamikaze mission. This guy's been brought in to do the dirty work for the next guy, so he doesn't have to.
And a kamikaze work is an understatement.
Yeah,
just like the Real Madrid, when we was talking about signings in, signings out, departures. Barcelona must have got rid of since Koeman's come in, of about 16 players.
Yeah, no, they have.
And to be fair, he has, he's got decent money for him as well. But there's still them lone players hanging about. There's still players on the periphery who won't go and who he can't get rid of. He got rid of Arthur, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Arthur, he got rid of it, and he got 64 million. That was a big one. Samayo, Perez, Todiba, I think he went out on loan. But there's we all know from recently from the press that there's another 5 that he needs to get rid of, and they're the big names that they're the big ones.
So we talk about the 5 that he needs to get rid of. I think there was Dembele was one of them they're talking of, but I know they're trying to raise cash, but it's one of them things. Was not the biggest mistake they made in the summer, not just letting Messi go? Is potentially their pride got in the way of what would have been a smart move for the club as a whole? Let me just check. How much is Messi's wages a season?
£500,000 a week he gets, doesn't he?
26 million a year. So that's 26 million a year. Plus, I think he earns a further 12 million loyalty bonus. So you're talking about 38 million pounds just off the bat to keep hold of Lionel Messi. I mean, I know you're going to make money, but still, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble.
Was it a fans thing? It must have been the fans, just to appease the fans, we bet if we get rid of Messi, You know, we've had enough trouble with this, that, and the other over the last few months. God, we got rid of Messi. That type of thing. That type of decision.
I mean, Jerome, Barcelona, they've got plenty of players you'd take from them, haven't they? They've got plenty of money they can make up from assets if they were going to do like a quick fire sale.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, they should, while they're in such a bad position, they should have made the most of it and brought some money in, so they could sort of, I guess, replenish the team and the squad.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you got to, even though it's not the ideal thing to do, needs must.
Yeah.
Maybe, looking back, maybe that's what they should have done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that they're not even in the same situation with regards to, I'd say it's like squad depth as well. Like with Real Madrid, we've just spoken there, and you look at the players that they was able to bring back from loan. Look at the players that they'd had in the B team.
Yeah.
Barcelona just don't have that. It's just not the same quality, is it?
You know what? Even when they had their great teams like a few years ago, I don't think they ever really had a lot of depth in the squad. It was basically the same sort of 11, 12, 13 players playing week in, week out. You could name the team, couldn't you? You can name the defence, midfield, and the forwards.
And it was Messi and Suarez taking them through.
That's it. They just used to stay fit, didn't they?
Yeah.
They never used to get injured.
But I think their problem maybe was when they was trying to bring in that other person, the other guy, they were spending big money and not getting the same back. I mean, they spent 100 plus on Griezmann, 100 plus on Coutinho, 100 plus on Dembele.
I think the Griezmann buy is terrible.
Yeah. Why? Why did they buy him?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think
bad decisions.
Yeah, maybe they tried to be too much like their rivals and sign a big name for a lot of money. But it's not all about that. It needs to be like the right player that can fit into your team.
Yeah,
and it just hasn't worked out. And that's a hell of a lot of money to spend on one player that isn't going to improve your team.
Yeah, I mean, you looked at Steve, before going to
I was just going to say, but a lot of people were blaming obviously Josep Bartomeu for all the players that came in, but I wouldn't blame him for everything that that's wrong at Barcelona at the moment. All right, certain things, but. Yeah, it was just a point to make that it seems that the first person they went to when these players were bought were Bartomeu. But from a first look, bringing in players like Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann.
I mean, they're not bad players. They're not bad players, and when you do bring them in, you think to yourself, okay. It's going to keep fans happy, but I think they brought in Coutinho to replace Iniesta. I think they brought in Dembele to replace Neymar, and they're just not buying quite on paper, but they're not buying the right player. Like if you're trying to replace Iniesta,
you're never going to do that.
You're not doing that.
It's impossible. I always think to try and replace a player.
Yeah.
Anyway, because no two players are the same. So I think you sort of need to take a different approach to it rather than saying, "Oh, we've lost this type of left midfielder, so we need to buy this type of left midfielder." I don't think it's not as simple as that.
You can't. You've got to change your game. It's spot on there, Jerome. You can't. But I've seen clubs chase a player that's the same player for years. For years.
Yeah.
How long?
How many times do you hear it? How many times do you hear it?
Hey, go on, Steve, go on. Patrick Vieira, innit? Patrick Vieira.
Yeah. How many times do you hear it? Oh, we ain't placed Vieira yet.
All right, okay.
So, we ain't placed Beckham yet. Oh, we haven't placed Cristiano Ronaldo yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't placed Hazard yet.
Tell me another player out there that's ever been like Patrick Vieira. ever.
Nah, even the thing is that say talking about say Arsenal, they obviously they had Overmars and they needed to get a new player on the left and they signed Pires. Now they are two totally different
Totally
players.
different.
Totally
What they
different.
do, they change the game.
Yeah, totally different. Play in different ways. Link up with players differently. So you can't look. They didn't look for an Overmars replacement because there isn't one. You just have to play a player that can fit in well to your team that's going to take the place of a different player, but not be that exact same type of player.
Yeah, it's like they did the same thing with when they were trying to replace Xavi, or they brought in Cesc Fabregas, but Cesc Fabregas is not Xavi. Like Cesc Fabregas is like he played false nine for Spain because he's like an attacking midfielder, but not. He's like attacking midfielder, but he's a central midfielder, and he can't tackle, but he can, and he can win the ball back, and he can dribble, and he can pass and score. Like these players are one of a kind. That's why they're so special. That's why everyone loves them. That's why they're priceless to their teams, because they're one of a kind. Because you can't get them elsewhere. I.e., you can't replace them. You have to just change, and that's the thing. These clubs always try to replace.
They've got to do what Real Madrid are doing, because Real Madrid are doing it right. Start bringing in the youngsters, the youth, and build up that way.
Well,
Real
Steve,
Madrid are doing
Real Madrid are 2 years ahead. They had Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 50 goals a season. Yeah, they've taken Cristiano Ronaldo out of the team, and they've still won the league. Barcelona still have Messi, and they have to transition from Messi. And Messi, who's not really playing that well at the moment because his heart's not in it. Messi has to play with his heart, and he's not playing with his heart at the moment.
They've got a couple of good youngsters, which I'm sure Jerome's going to
couple.
talk about.
Jerome, if you just... Steve, sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying there are some good youngsters at Barcelona. They need to be given a game. They need to be given game time.
Yeah, well, Jerome, I know you looked at some of the Barcelona youngsters. What ones... Go on.
So the best one that I'm sure people have seen is Ansu Fati, the attacking player. But he actually got injured yesterday. He could be out for quite a few months. He picked up a knee injury. They don't know the extent yet of how bad it is. I think it's going to be probably at least a couple of months, possibly up to 5. He is sort of their sort of shining light, and sort of the Barcelona hierarchy have said this guy is like non-transferable. Like we can't sell him. He's just not for sale at any price. He's picked up all sorts of records, like the youngest goal scorer ever in ElClasico. He's made a couple of appearances for the Spanish under-21 team, and it's like, no, this guy's too good for the under-21s. Let's throw him straight into the full team. He's their shining light.
Yeah, he's special though, isn't he? Like if they were trying to look, I'm not doing like for like. I'm not saying, but if you're trying to transition, Ansu Fati's the guy you transition to. Maybe he's not. I think the problem with Barcelona right now is they transitioned from Deco and Ronaldinho, to Messi, and there was like a 2-year crossover, Now there's no crossover. It's gonna be a start, and that's where the trouble is. But they've got Ansu Fati in there now. It's just that Ronaldinho was still smashing it for 2 years while Messi was coming through, and he was teaching him the way. Whereas it feels like Messi's just like don't want to be there, and he's got Ansu Fati there, and it's just like it's just I mean, but carry on.
Yeah, and so one of I think their sort of youth, or not their youth player, but their young player that's in the first team at the moment that I really like is Pedri, the midfielder, who was playing for Las Palmas, and he played for them last season, and he became their youngest goal scorer. Very, very intelligent, excellent feet. Reminds me a bit of the old Arsenal player Alexander Hleb, the way he uses his uses both his right and left foot to get out of trouble. I think I think he'll go on to become a regular for Spain. He's already a regular for Barca at 17 in their midfield. So, despite the troubles they've got, Barca, they've got at least two so you can call them potential superstars.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think the way he plays with his freedom, very expressive on the ball. It looks like you can't get the ball of him. Low centre of gravity. When he goes one way, quickly spins the other. Very, very, very good player. And he's got a 400 million euro release clause as well. So they really rate him.
But what's nice about him is he's not. Oh, sorry, Steve.
No, sorry, I was just going to say. So it's Fatty. He's got 400 million release clause.
Right. Yeah. What's nice about Pedri is he's not just a player that's quick and strong. It's the technical side of his game that's good. He doesn't like rely on pace. So that's quite nice to see. Yeah.
So they've got some stars coming through to maybe help with a transition.
Okay, I don't know one. There is one I don't know too much about. I just watched a bit of him today. Puig.
Yes. Raul Puig. I can't even pronounce it.
He looks a bit tasty as well. I think
he's another one. 21, very good player. I actually had him in my list, but I forgot to send it to you, Jerome. Yeah, he's a very good one. It's very. They've got him there. They've got him there.
There is one more. There is one more that we can just quickly go over. Is a guy that plays for their B team. He's called Moriba. Ile Moriba's a centre midfielder. He's only 17. Been with them since 2010. He hasn't played for the first team yet, and he's already got a 100 million euro buyout clause. They compare him to sort of Pogba. Very, very physical, more aggressive than your sort of the Barcelona's central midfield that you tend to think of. And I'm sure it won't be too long before he plays in the first team, and we'll be able to see him play on the TV and see what he's all about. But another one for the list.
So I'd probably dismiss all these rumours of transfers coming in. As we said, Real Madrid, Barcelona are in big trouble at the moment. It's all about players going out, trying to recoup some of the assets, trying to recoup some of them 200-300 grand a week that they're paying out, plus the 100+ million that they've paid out on these players as well. You're talking about what we spoke about, 3 players. You're talking about 400 million just on them players alone, plus the fact that you got Messi for another season on 30+ million. They've got a lot to do. The new president's going to have to come in, try and appease the fans by bringing in some players eventually. But also the most important thing is trying to keep this club out of debt, to get them out of the trouble that they're in now, because you don't want a big club like Barcelona having Bankrupt next to their name.
That Tony, is it Tony Frixie, apparently who's going to be their next president? He wants to cut everybody's wages. He wants to cut Messi's wages, and so he ain't going to start off his way too well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've already spoken about having to cut wages, or ask the players if they want to cut wages. If they don't, they will take it upon themselves to cut their wages, and that's where the trouble comes in. Because as soon as you do that, players can cancel their contracts. Players can go to the Association of Spanish Footballers and say, we have not agreed to have a pay cut. And the contracts can be terminated. And that's the trouble that Barcelona are in. They're in a big state at the moment where they could potentially just have players walk out. If big names like Griezmann, Dembele, and so on refuse to have their pay. Look, think you slap a 400 million release clause on Ansu Fati. Well, what if he turns around next week and says, I'm not having a pay cut? And then you force him to have a pay cut, and then he goes to the Players Association and just gets his contract cancelled because you're in breach of contract. And this is the danger that they're in. The only thing that will be keeping these players, if they do turn around and force them to have their contracts cancelled, the only thing saving them is the fact that they're at Barcelona. That's what it says it to me. It's the honour of playing for Barcelona and potentially being one of them players that helped Barcelona through one of their toughest patches that they've been in years. I
mean, they had a terrible season, but I think a big shout out still got. I'll tell you, had may have been their player of the season. Was again Gerard Piqué last season was fantastic last season for them. You know, he was so impressive. Yeah,
the captain.
Yeah, every year, every season he just.
And he said he's willing to take a pay cut. He's willing to negotiate a new contract, which they said that players wouldn't be happy about because they, as a group of players, they refused. They said they would refuse to, but it's in his blood, that team. And if he has to take a pay cut, he's probably one of them players that would pay for nothing, because it's just in him. It's just his team. As I was saying earlier, he's one that's going to go upstairs, 100%.
Like Ramos.
He's one that's going to be like the one, maybe not the president, but like he's going to be a key figure, director of football or something. Before we go, expectations. What would you say on a transitioning season for Barcelona would be a good season, Steve?
Well, they're not going to.
And what would you do? What would you do with their players, i.e. Messi, i.e. the big names? What are you doing?
I think they've got to do what, like I've already said. I think they've got to go the way of what Real Madrid are doing. They've got to concentrate on the youth. They've already brought in Sergio Dest, who's a fantastic. I mean, how they got him for 18.9.
I know. Someone's got some dodgy pictures of the chairman or something, because that's an odd one. That's an odd one. It feels like someone's doing someone a favour there. Like 18 million for Sergio Dest. He's one of the best up and coming right backs in Europe. He's potentially world class for 18.90 million. But So, but that's the way they got to go. That type of way. With the Ansu Fatis, with the Pugh and the other guy who Jerome mentioned. Last year no silverware, 2 managers, not good. Knocked out the quarter final. Not knocked out, Steve. They were embarrassed.
They were embarrassed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, who's the guy that they bought? He was the guy they bought as well as Disaster at Fulham.
Oh no, they bought him
Firpo. That was a bad, but I don't think that's gone well for him. But just to say, going back to it, I just think they've again transition. I don't think it's going to be like a Real Madrid transition. I'm going to think they're going to find it a lot harder than what Real Madrid are a lot harder than what Real Madrid are finding it. I don't think they're going to win the league. They probably won't even finish second this year. Atletico Madrid will probably knock them. I'll say third. Champions League, no chance. No chance. Maybe the 16's the most that they'll get, and they might be able to squeeze a cup, but that's it for me. They're going to struggle. They really, really need to get a president sorted out, someone who's got the club at heart, and sort out this Messi thing, because Messi, even with Messi, as hard as it, I think they've just got to wipe the slate. He doesn't want to be there.
What's the point in having a player there that doesn't want to be there, that's on so much money? And when you're seeing a Dynamo Kiev team who were ravaged with injury, COVID, injuries, the lot. I think Dynamo Kiev had about 6 players missing the other day against Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Messi's walking around. That sort of clip that everyone's seen, where people are literally, the geezers just not even at pace, just walk past Messi. Messi just stands there and just watches him.
He's not bothered, is he?
He's not bothered. He's not bothered. But Steve, a player like Messi, when you don't have him in the team, and if you lose, then it's because you didn't have Messi. But when he's doing that, is it worth him even playing? Is it time to just transition now? That seems to be the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the end of our Barcelona chat. We are now going to bring in our regular guest, the chef. How you doing, Si?
Yeah, that's my teeth. Trying my best to keep it calm.
Yeah. No swearing. No Arsenal anger. We're keeping it clean. Well done, Simon. He's done well. He's 10 seconds in. Hasn't even mentioned him. All right. Jerome.
Hello, mate.
Guardian top 60. What we got this week? What 2 players we got this week? You muted yourself.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's right. We were trying to lip sync challenge.
Was that more good stuff, Joe?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was breaking news. That was. We've got a player from Bulgaria to start with, an absolute monster, 6'5", defensive midfielder that goes by the name of Dimo Kristev.
That's like a Bond villain. 6'5" and 17. Jeez.
Yeah. He's at Fiorentina's academy. He joined their academy last year. He made his professional debut when he was 15, and he first started playing with Fiorentina's under-17s when he went there. But their under-19 boss was like super impressed with him, and their under-19 boss is actually the former Liverpool player Alberto Aquilani, that you might remember.
Yeah,
Aquilani.
Yeah, remember him? Central midfielder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just an absolute giant, very imposing. He just looks like a bully, to be honest. But he's quite tidy on the ball, and for someone so big, 6'5", he seems pretty mobile.
Yeah, that is always one that gets me. It's like good feet for a big lad. It's like anyone over 6 foot they expect to be dribbling and falling over their own shoelaces.
Yeah, yeah. But no, he's you would not want to go into a 50-50 with this guy.
Yeah,
put it that way.
You come out losing.
Yeah,
if at all.
Yeah. So yeah, he's he's just a unit, absolute unit.
Who you got next?
Yeah. Then we've got Samuel Illing.
Uh-huh.
This is a player that was at Chelsea, but his youth contract expired, and so he ended up going to Juventus. He's a winger, mainly left-sided. Now he's playing in the under-23s at Juve now, and his manager was supposed to be Pirlo before he then got promoted and got job. So yeah, there's not a massive amount of footage of him, to be honest, but he's someone that I think Chelsea really wanted to keep, and his contract expired and ended up leaving, and I guess that's the risk you take sometimes.
And the thing is, Chelsea as well, they've got an excellent pedigree of youth players coming through. So if he's one player they wanted to keep, you can rest assured that he had something about him. I mean, just look at the wingers that they're producing. Hudson-Odoi, even down to the right back they let go to Brighton, Lamperty. They're producing talented players. Reece James, they're producing some top players. So I'm sure he's a decent, very good player. Yeah. Thank you very much, Jerome. It is time for transfer roundup. Oh, the window's still not open. No, the window's not open. That's a lie. Change that.
You need that in EastEnders drum. Dum, 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 dum,
yeah, but it needs its own theme tune. It needs its own one. Yeah. It needs a transfer roundup. I'm going to get someone to make it. I'm going to get someone to make me a transfer roundup theme tune. 100% it deserves one, because if we're going into the January transfer window and the summer transfer window, mate, it's going to need something. It's going to need something to get them people hyped up. Although just saying the transfer roundup used to get the comment section buzzing. Just absolute anarchy. All right. Transfer roundup time. Here we go. The Telegraph are saying that Manchester City could offer Barcelona forward Lionel Messi a pre-contract in January before the summer move. 2 weeks ago, Steve gave you an update on that. That I think at the time you said Manchester City have been given Pep Guardiola 20 million to bring in a striker, and that striker is going to be Messi on a pre-contract. Is who they're going to try and bring in. I don't know what people watch.
And then I got DM'd and called a clown and an idiot, and I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, Steve, get used to it, mate, because we're going to be breaking a lot more news from now on. And as you've seen in the paper, it was true.
Yep.
But we will have some more Man City news for you in a bit. All right. Just hold your horses. They're also willing to make Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling the highest paid players in the Premier League. Well, Kevin De Bruyne, highly regarded in the Premier League, as is Raheem Sterling. I think Raheem Sterling should be getting a bit more dues than he normally does. Because, I mean, Raheem Sterling is one of the best wingers in Europe. And if we talk about Kevin De Bruyne, he's special, though. He is special.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they're going to be some of the highest earners in the Premier League because they're at Man City. So there we go.
Could be the time to get him as well. Could be the time to get him.
Who?
Very possible.
Who? De Bruyne. Oh, because the contract thing.
Well, it's all skew with at City in a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit in limbo, isn't it? It's a bit. Is he going to be? We'll get onto it in a bit. Atletico Madrid are another club keeping tabs on Brighton fullback Tariq Lamptey. Man United, Leicester, and Everton are all interested in Villarreal winger Samuel Chukwueze. PSG would be open to taking Tottenham midfielder Dele Alli if the North Londoners are open to selling in January. They failed on 3 attempts to bring him in the summer on loan. I think they're going to try and go for him again. It just doesn't seem like Dele Alli is a happy bunny at Tottenham at the moment. I know Jose Mourinho's trying his best to try and motivate him in a Jose Mourinho way, but it just doesn't. It's not working. I think Dele Alli just needs someone who's going to let Dele Alli do his thing, but also keep him motivated. Is the word I'm looking for. And I'm not sure whether that's Jose. That's not a slight on Jose. That's just saying some players you can't motivate, mate. Barcelona targeted Benfica and Uruguay forward Darwin Núñez as a long-term replacement for Luis Suarez. Napoli striker, I can never pronounce his first name, Milik. That's what I'm going to say. Has been told that he can leave in January. And Everton are one of the clubs who are supposedly interested in him. That'd be a brilliant buy for Everton. If Everton had Milik and Calvert-Lewin as their front two, that'd be devastating. David Alaba has criticised Bayern Munich after discovering the club had withdrawn his contract offer. And he was also gutted to hear they offered him in a swap deal. They were very blunt about it as well. They were very blunt. It's well funny. I mean, if you kept up with the David Alaba situation, which we've been on since the very start. The latest one was where David Alaba had come out and said, "I was gutted to hear that they offered me in a swap deal," and I thought it was going to be one of these things where the club would turn around and go, "No, it never happened." But as with many German clubs, they are refreshingly honest. And they said, well, when we got to the point where David wasn't really going to be, we thought that David really wasn't going to be signing a new deal and we're not going to offer him not any more money, we decided to see what we could do elsewhere. We tried to swap him. They tried to swap David Alaba. No, don't know what team, don't know what player, but they did try and do a swap deal with David Alaba. Dayot Upamecano looks like it could be edging towards a move to Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, as Bayern Munich and Leipzig are in contact currently in talks over a pre-contract. Another one, Dayot Upamecano. We spoke about Upamecano at the start of the transfer window when he'd held talks with Arsenal. Before that, previously, it was very much thought that he'd be going Bayern Munich. I think even afterwards, I said that I personally thought he would be edging towards Bayern Munich only because previously he was meant to go to Bayern Munich. They'd previously had talks before. Upamecano was meant to go to Bayern Munich, but they couldn't afford him since COVID hit, and they couldn't afford to bring in Leroy Sané and Upamecano, so they opted for Leroy Sané, I think, to replace Ribery. So they obviously felt they had enough defensive cover, putting Alaba in central defence as well as cover, so they didn't feel that necessarily that Upamecano was needed for the following season, for the rest of the season. So they're trying to bring him in on a pre-contract.
And Boateng, he's gone down with a bad injury again, isn't he? So
there we go. Potentially, could this be something that's done in January? I don't know.
Well, I think that's about his fourth injury in about 2 years now for Boateng.
Yeah, and to be fair to Boateng as well, he'd had a very good season last season, but he's getting to that age where injuries take longer to get over, and it's they're looking for some long-term replacements. West Ham are closing in on a deal for Danish centre-back Fredrik Alves Ibsen. Jerome, you had a little look at him, didn't you?
Yeah.
What's he saying?
God, so he's a 20-year-old centre-back that plays for a team in Denmark that I've never heard of, called Silkeborg. He's got a good
second division.
What?
I don't know, to be honest.
I've been there on holiday.
Now he's got a
lovely
funny
place.
He was so as his name suggests, he's got some Brazilian family, and he was actually on holiday in Brazil when he was 15, just playing in some training matches, and actually got spotted by scouts out there. Ended up staying in Brazil, signed for a team, and then and then returned to Denmark about a couple of years later.
He's playing in Division 1. They're currently second in the league. Goals for quite a few. Goals against 11 games, 12 goals conceded. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They're currently sitting second in the Danish second division, and he's got a lot to learn if you're going to come into the Premier League. But I'm not judging him already.
No, he's made he's made a lot of appearances for them already. He's made nearly 50 appearances as a 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. Quite front-footed. Lots. If you watch him, lots of sliding tackles. Like really commits to challenges. When he gets the ball, his first thought seems to be, rather than what a lot of teams do, is pass it side to side. His first thought is get it forward, even if it's a long ball. I'm playing the ball forward. Does seem to take quite a few risks in terms of getting super tight to attackers and grabbing shirts, but he's only a young player, and
he's only young.
I think I couldn't really see him going straight into their sort of starting 11. Yeah, West Ham, but maybe as a squad player perhaps, and again only young, so loads of time to develop.
But the thing is, I think if you look at the current setup at West Ham now, it seems as if David Moyes is starting to find his team, and players like Issa Diop, who you should be able to get a little bit of money for, who's probably on wages that are relatively high for West Ham. He's sitting on the bench at the moment, so you'd rather put in a 20-year-old, maybe getting someone else. I just don't think that Issa Diop's his kind of man. You could probably see that he's got could make some money off of him, bring in this geezer, a little bit of profit, and then one for the future, and then maybe bring in someone more experienced that he actually wants in the team. Thank you very much for that, Jerome. With you in a second anyway. Cruz Azul winger Obelian Pendia has been tracked by a host of clubs, including Arsenal, Tottenham, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, Newcastle, and Tottenham. Now, when I read these ones, it just reeks of the agent trying to get him out of the club, to say that he's touted with so many clubs. I mean, personally, myself, I've not heard anything about Arsenal. We possibly may have heard something from Everton. If these players were in, I've just not heard anything, like nothing, except for seeing this. So, what kind of a player is he? Is he any good? Can he do it in the Premier League?
So he's a 24-year-old Mexican. He's spent his whole career so far in Mexico, and when he first burst on the scene, he was touted as being like the next big thing of Mexican football. He's tiny. He's 5'5". He was initially a deep lying playmaker, but over time he started to develop into more of a winger, which is something you don't really see a lot of.
No, he must have some pace.
So yeah, quite pacey, lots of skill. I think the fact that he's 5'5" and not the best tackler probably meant that he had to get out of like central areas and whack him on the wing out of the centre of midfield. He seems to be a player that doesn't get lots of goals and assists, but he's like involved in the build-up play. Rather than like having fantastic numbers. And he actually played when Ronaldinho played in Mexico. He played in the same team as him.
So do you reckon he could do it in the Prem?
I don't know. It's
5'5".
Yeah, I know.
I'm touching on height.
You got to be proper special at 5'5" to play in the Prem, haven't you? You got to be like a world-class player.
That's what I mean. And some of these teams I'm seeing, like Wolves, Everton, Tottenham, Arsenal, it's just I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But I look into it. But again, I don't see it. It just feels like it's an agent trying to get his player out of Mexico, mate. So maybe the MLS for him. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta says defender William Saliba could go out on loan in January, and he's as frustrated as the player is. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it, with Saliba? There was a lot of talk to be fair, from fans talking about how Saliba would be slotting in with Magalhaes. It was a bit premature, if I'm honest, even talking that way, because you as has been said many times on this podcast, to bring in a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old who've only played in France as your main centre-back pairing is ludicrous. To even think it, to even say it out loud, is ludicrous. And as we've seen since they've come in, Magalhaes has been an absolute godsend, and Saliba's nowhere to be seen, which says a lot. To me, it says that he's not ready. Because if he was, he certainly wouldn't be playing behind players who would just come back from injury. It's not to say that players like Mustafi wouldn't have got in over Saliba if they were both fit, but Mustafi had been out since before the end of the last season, and he's been brought into games. We've been a week of training, and Saliba's been there the whole time. So that says that Saliba ain't ready. He ain't up for the challenge yet. What are you saying on that one, Jerome, with regards to Saliba? Needs to go out on loan? Have you heard anything with regards to ready for the challenge?
Oh, it's to be honest, it's Arsenal fans probably. I think it would be a bit worrying. He's got to go out on loan. He's got to play football, and it's especially weird to see that his old centre back partner Wesley Fofana has settled in so quickly for Leicester, and he's playing there. I know he's had maybe some personal struggles to deal with, but if you're not even getting named in like the Europa League squad, I mean, how? I'm just concerned that maybe he's gone into train with him, and maybe the manager thinks that he's not at the level. Like, he's not at Arteta signing, is he? He came before they signed before he got to the club. Yeah, worrying to be honest. I don't know. He's got to play, and maybe he's just not as good as what they thought he is. I don't know.
Steve, what are you saying on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I just got echo really what Jerome said, and What is he, 18 now? 18, 19?
Yeah, he's 19. He's young. He's young for a centre back, man.
Yeah, he's got to play games. He's got to be playing football.
Yeah,
He's got to play football. He's got to go out and loan. There's no if. There's no buts. There's no babies, maybes. If he's sitting at there just training, doing nothing, and he's not playing in any games, then what's the point?
yeah.
There's no point in being at the club.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the fact, you might as well sell him on again. So the best thing to do is what Jerome says. It sounds like it's right. Maybe Arteta don't fancy him. Maybe he's got problems. We don't know. But whether it's one of them things or whether it's the other, one thing that he's got to do, he's got to be playing football.
Yeah.
So
and not under 23s either.
No. So the only way he's got to be playing football.
Yeah.
The only way he's going to be playing football is to be going out on loan. So, it's just a no-brainer, really.
I think an important factor in this, which people don't like to talk about, but it's reality, is Arsenal paid a lot of money for him. If they paid a couple of million for him, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion. But they paid.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
What did they pay? Between 25 and 30 million for him? They paid a lot of money, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's one of them. It's like 20 mil up to.
Yeah. So
and I think they saved themselves on the loaning back as well.
Yeah, I think that's the concerning thing, is they paid a lot of money for him, and you expect that maybe he's not ready yet, but you'd expect you'd at least have seen him in the Carabao Cup or the early group stage of the Europa League games. So we'll see.
Simon, with regards to Saliba, what do you think the best situation for him? Are you surprised that he's come into the team and he's not the required standard that Arteta wants? Are you surprised?
Well, I want him to stay, but I think they're going to end up selling him in summer because Arteta don't rate him.
Oh,
I know he's young.
Full stop.
I know he's young. Yeah, but it's common sense to include him in that Europa League squad in the group stage. Arsenal could walk through that group stage. We've been shocking in the Europa League this season. We've been lucky in some games. We struggled against a Dunkirk team who was in a conference non-league team. Molde were the better team on the night in the first half and a little bit of the second half for me. He's got his favourites, Arteta, and it's starting to come through now. It's like Pepe. I think he'll be sold in the summer. 72 million. What a waste.
Yeah. Well, Saliba, only played 12 games last season as well. So
I understand that, but when you see the guy from Leicester who's come in, and Saliba is higher calibre than the guy from Leicester.
It doesn't matter about higher calibre, man, because he's played 12
just
games.
Not been given a chance.
Yeah, but 12 games in your development years. 18 development years. You'll play Fofana. Okay, sorry, Fofana. Yeah, Fofana. For Saint Etienne, would have played. I think he's played the full season. Yeah, under Saint Etienne. So, what did he have? Let me have a look. Boom. Fofana. Yeah, he's played 4 games this season. Last season, he played 24 games last season. It's a start. He's played double the games. So
you know what?
We can talk about Fofana's coming at Leicester and he's getting game time. But he's played double the amount of games that Saliba played last season. Saliba played toward the end of the season after having a broken foot.
Go on. You know what? You give say Edu's been getting, I think, a lot of praise for some of his recent signings, right? I think if you know Saliba's not going to play, then it's one of the worst. It's not going to seem important because it's not really affecting the first team now. But one of the worst decisions is not sending him out on loan. The transfer window this summer was extended to whenever it was. Like he had a long time to sort that.
Think about it as well.
Sort that deal out. And if he's not going to play in Arsenal's first team, he's got to go on loan. There's like no other way. Yeah. And I'm sure there's enough clubs that would have taken him. That is a horrific decision from Arsenal not to send him out on loan. If you know he's not going to play for you.
I think what it is, they dithered, didn't they? They didn't know what centre backs were going to be back. They didn't want to send anyone out on loan. Look what they did with Rob Holding. They didn't want to send. They were going to send him out, didn't send him out, and now they're left with all of them.
Yeah,
it's like, but whose fault's that? Is that a bit of Arteta's fault as well? Because he's the manager. He's the one that's saying, look, maybe I can't really afford to lose so-and-so because I don't know whether I'm going to have him back or she back. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You've got to be decisive, haven't you? You've
got to be decisive. Sometimes you've got to take a risk. And one of them risks was not keeping Socrates. One of them risks was not keeping Saliba. So, two calculated risks that didn't pay off. Poor decisions there. Borussia Dortmund Chief Executive Hans-Joachim Watzke says that Erling Haaland does not have a release clause in his contract. That remains to be seen. I think he does. If he doesn't,
he does.
He does. It comes into play in. It comes into play in 2022. Yeah,
that's he does.
So because if they didn't, Man United would be fuming.
He's already got a verbal agreement with Real Madrid, hasn't he?
Yeah, but can they afford to pay that right now? Like, we don't know what the situation is going to be with regards to anything. Do they not want Mbappe?
Real Madrid ain't got nothing. They can't do anything.
Verbals.
I think Real Madrid are in a better position than Barcelona.
Yeah,
Barcelona are ready to get bankrupt.
They are bankrupt, mate. They're done. They're
bankrupt.
Yeah, they're not officially bankrupt, but if you're talking about money and how much you're bringing in and how much your assets are, they're bankrupt. So
I did some digging on that as well behind the scenes. I'm gutted I didn't come on tonight, but I chose Arsenal over the podcast. I'll never do that again. I will never do that again. 1990. I've been a fan. Never again. But I've done some research on it, and Raul Sanelli is the reason why they're getting bankrupt.
Oh yeah, because he got the sack a few years
because
ago,
of the dodgy deals. Dodgy deals. Griezmann's agent apparently took 18.5 million out of the deal. Ousmane Dembele from Borussia Dortmund, his agent I think took something like 13.7 million, and then because he hasn't hit a certain amount of goals and assists, Dembele, because he's not been getting the game time, which makes sense why every manager keeps swapping and changing him. And he looks like he's not fit. He looks like he's injury prone. It's because his agent will get 5 mil for every target he hits. This is the thing with El Sanelli, same as Nicolas Pepe as well, what he tried doing. If Pepe gets 20 goals in a season for Arsenal, his agent takes 10 mil out of the deal. Why do you think Tim Lewis came in and went, what's happening? He's a bit of a sneaky under, what do you call it?
Yeah,
sneaky man.
He gets the deals done, but it's at what expense? That's the problem.
At the agents, how much do I get?
Agents, it's the club's expense, isn't it? I mean, if he's left his mark, I'll tell you that. Barcelona could move for Tottenham's. These I love these ones. Barcelona could move for Tottenham's Tengai Ndombele for Fabrizio Romano. Barcelona have no money. Like, how are they even talking about bringing? How are they being linked with players when the potential president is saying they're bankrupt? Like, you can't be linked with players. You can't be. Leeds owner.
They've got a list of 5-6 players they want to sell, and they sold 16 players last season. And people were saying they're buying this player and buying that player.
Yeah, and the players that they're linked with aren't like an up and coming gem, which they might get on a Harry Redknapp kind of deal. A little
big names.
I found
one in, one out.
I found
him
when
one in, one out.
Yeah, I found him when he was like 15 and he's going to be a superstar. No, they're talking about bringing in Dembele. Tottenham paid 50 million. Like, this is Daniel Levy you're going to have to deal with. How much do you think you're going to have to spend to get him Dembele?
I think they should swap Griezmann with Arsenal, and we'll give him Willian because he's amazing. He's absolutely brilliant.
No,
just take him.
Don't worry about Willian.
Yeah, just take him.
Lacazette, he missed a 5-yard header again today.
Yeah, there you go. You can have them both.
Mauricio Pochettino met. We spoke about earlier. Mauricio Pochettino met with Man United to discuss the managerial role. We'll jump into you in a second on that one. So after the meeting with Pochettino, he outlined what he wanted to bring in. One of the players that we spoke about was Harry Redknapp. The other one was Heung-min Sol. We spoke earlier in the week, Si. He laid out his what he wanted. 15 million
was
a
this
year.
Poch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pochettino made me laugh. The guy that told me, absolutely, I couldn't believe it. And this guy's very close as well to United, so I was just going to say that. But he told me he wants 15 mil a year. He wants a 5-year contract. He wants to swap Bruno Fernandes for Christian Eriksen. He wants to bring Harry Kane to Manchester United. What other one was there? There were another one.
Son Heung-min.
He wants to replace. Yeah, I was told this not the same time I told you, but this were another message after. And I forgot to send it you. But he wants to replace De Gea with Hugo Lloris as well. What? He just wants to turn United into Tottenham. I can't see their fans happening with that. He's got some proper front for a manager that's won nothing.
But the thing is, he's an in-demand manager, and with that, he has to lay out everything he wants. Yeah. Because if you ask for everything, if you ask for 100, and you've set out in your mind that you're happy with 50, and they give you 75, you still won. If you go in asking for 50 and they give you 25, you're losing. Like always go bigger. Always go to the other end. So they always take it down.
Say it bigger. Excuse me, swear this. That's an understatement. That's an understatement, isn't it? Bigger.
Yeah, but we all know. Man United have always had a soft spot for Harry Kane.
Everyone thinks Pochettino after seeing that thinks he's an idiot.
I don't think that asking for Harry Kane and Heung-min Son is crazy.
No, it improves Man United. It does improve.
You don't need
and Eriksen.
Oh mate, I wouldn't go anywhere near him.
I just think that Bruno Fernandes for Christian Eriksen. I'm sorry, Bruno's levels above.
They are also different kinds of player. They're completely different kinds of player. I think one's more of a playmaker type attacking midfielder. The other one's a goal scoring, sit behind. It's different. I think again, it's more of what you know.
I think it was the meeting. Wait, Monday? Monday, I told you. Or Tuesday? No, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, because it worked out brilliant. Because everyone's been saying to me, "Well, how's this not in the papers? How's nobody spot this? How's he going to be able to get to Manchester?" It's like, who played on Monday night for Monday Night Football? And by coincidence, Pochettino was the host.
Yeah.
It's all been planned by Man United. It's all been planned behind the scenes. But what I was told is that Ed Woodward is pushing for this.
Yeah, no, he is.
Ed Woodward's trying to get Pochettino in, but two members of the Glazers, the brother, and I think it was a brother and his associate or something like that, but they've got wind of it. And they've also gone to the meeting as well. And both of them don't want Pochettino. They're happy with Solskjaer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's Solskjaer just being the puppet and it keeps everything happy at Man United.
I think they don't want to bring in another manager.
That's it. With too many demands.
It's not their way. They've got in a manager who doesn't really complain, doesn't moan about the hierarchy, doesn't moan to them about the money that they're spending. His gripes are with Ed Woodward about not bringing in the players he was meant to be bringing in, which is no surprise that Ed Woodward wants to get rid of him. But I think Man United are going to be in a sticky situation no matter who they bring in, unless that person has the cojones to get in someone or has the know-how to bring in players.
Well, it was Mourinho, weren't it, at Man United when he says, I had to go and speak to 3 different people if I wanted a player. and I had to wait for a traffic light, as he said. I have to wait for the traffic light, basically, to get the all clear. At Tottenham, he don't have to do that. He just has to go and speak to Daniel Levy, and you've seen that this summer.
Yeah.
He's got everything he wanted.
Man United are missing the structure upstairs.
Look where they are.
It seems to be the problem.
If anyone's got to go, it's Woodward. The one is the one who's got to go.
He's just never going to go, though, is he?
He covers his back all the time.
He's never going to go. It's a case. He's very good at his job. On the other side, he's not good. He's not a contract negotiator. He's not got the right team around that. He's not got a director of football or someone like that to sort of make sure Man United are ticking along the right stream. And he probably hasn't got that person in because that person would threaten his job himself. Because from previous what I've heard, the person who he did want to get in, or the kind of person he did want to get in, it was very limited. And in a director of football role, it would have been very limited role. It would have been literally being the in-between man for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and himself. Which
Give it gigs until end of season.
Yeah,
I love that saying.
I don't think he's gonna. He won't go in January. He'll probably get a new contract.
I don't see Ole leaving. I don't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leaving. I don't see Ed Woodward leaving either.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like it's going to come to an end. And Poch will probably go elsewhere. West Brom won Lee Bowyer as
he ain't won nothing anyway.
As manager. Tottenham are set to offer Son Heung-min a $200,000 a week contract, which put him level with Harry Kane. Real Madrid, Man City, Barcelona are all watching Marcus Thuram. We'll go to you first, Jerome. Jerome, for all them people who don't know about Marcus Thuram, tell us about Marcus Thuram.
So you might his surname might be quite familiar
to old people. Sorry.
So he is.
Speak for yourself.
He is indeed. In fact, he's the son of Lilian Thuram, the not so old French player.
Yeah, he is.
That's it. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's right. So he's 23 years old. He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach in Germany. So although he plays for the French youth teams, or has played for the French youth teams, he was actually born in Parma when his dad was playing there.
Yeah.
So he plays either at centre forward or sort of from the left. I would describe him as quite a direct player. No sort of frills or spills. He seems to be getting the sort of the right place at the right time in terms of his finishing. Takes up some very clever positions on the pitch. He's got very good timing of runs. So yeah, he's 23. I don't think he's played yet for the French national team, the full team. But maybe he could be one of these late bloomers, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks that way. Steve, have you heard anything on the Man City front with regards to Marcus Thuram?
Sort of in a roundabout way. But I think I should start by saying that Man City have started talks again with Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. But this transfer is all going to depend who's managing City at the time. So whether it goes through or not. I mean, City are getting ready to, for life without Pep Guardiola. Yeah. They've just drawn up a new deal, which I don't know what it's got to do with Pep Guardiola because he disagreed with it with RB Leipzig as their feeder club. That'll be happening sometime in the January or March. But what there is Man City have got two plans. They've got a plan A, they've got a plan B. You've got a plan A, which is if Pep Guardiola stays and Aguero stays, then Turan could possibly come in because Pep likes Turan. Then they've also got a plan B, which is the one that the board are edging to, which looks like, from what I've been talking to, the more likelier one, which revolves around a new manager, which revolves around Lautaro Martinez coming into the club. Now, this is all to do. It looks to me it's all to do with money for one, where they don't seem to be wanting to give Pep the money, but they are going to give this new manager the money. Also in with Plan B is Zakira. He's also part of what we spoke about last week, as Manchester City are possible with for the new manager. But I don't know who the manager is. I haven't had any things yet on it. So that's where City are at the moment. The hierarchy have got to make a decision. Pep had more talks the other day to try, and it doesn't look like he wants to go. He tried to talk the into staying. It didn't go nowhere. So I think you can more or less definitely see a new manager coming in, and possibly Martinez and Sakiri in the summer. Michael Richards was on Sky. He was trying to give his little bit of information and what he thought about Man City. Make a stick to your day job and leave the transfers to the transfer exchange show, mate.
There we go. That's him off the wish list. Now,
I didn't have a clue what you was on about, mate. I was just had my mouth open like that and thought, wow.
Well, what was he saying?
Mate, I don't know. It was a load of wobble. He was going on about selling the goalkeeper. He was on about getting Mark. He was on about getting. He was on about getting Mikel Arteta back. He was on about Pep Guardiola spending loads of money in the January transfer window. It's just not going to happen. But it does look like, going from there that there is going to be a new manager at Man City, because and then then that new manager will get the blank checkbook. They just don't want to give them the money.
Yeah, and it seems like Pep wants to stay now after playing a bit hard to get. Man City, Barcelona, and Juventus are tracking Mönchengladbach forward. Alassane Plea. Another one, Barcelona. Not too sure. We're checking on the Man City link. Not heard anything on this one, have you, Steve?
No, I haven't. No,
yeah.
Mentioned it. I can find that. I'll check on it, though.
Yeah, if you could, mate. And Jerome, you had a little look at him. What's he saying?
Yeah, so he plays with Thuram, obviously, at Mönchengladbach. He's similar to Thuram, can play through the middle or on one of the wings, but prefers through the middle. Decent finisher, scores all types of goals. The coach of his club said that if he shoots sort of in and around the box, like, you can almost get ready to celebrate. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that, but he's
his agent as well, is he?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, he's a good all-round centre forward. He reminds me of.
Jerome was not happy. It's like, nah, mate. I was like, yeah, bro, you having a laugh?
Yeah.
Still missed 3 sitters. What are you talking about?
I mean, he's like goals. He's in 76 games. He scored 29 goals. So I can't imagine he's had 29 shots in 76 games. So you keep your celebrations to yourself, coach.
Jerome ain't having it.
Yeah. He's 27, so he's coming into the peak years.
And he ain't going to come cheap. So
nah.
Yeah.
Is that paper ripping I can hear underneath?
Yeah, Jerome is not buying it at all. He's like, nah. I mean, I get said a lot of players, mate, but Barcelona, Juventus, and Man City must be having a laugh, mate.
Yeah,
Not
for me.
Having it. You're not having it. Not for Jerome, all right?
No.
Maybe for many other clubs, but not these three.
And normally we're quite positive on all the players we talk about.
Well, it's not me. Don't drag me into that. All right, I might one day bump into this geezer, and I'm just the host. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's him. That's on the list for checking him up.
That's Mika Richards, Alison Plea. All right. Yeah. Let's not say a bad word about Marcus Thuram because we won't get his dad in either. Barcelona are ready to offload up to 5 players in January transfer window. It's going to be a fire sale for Barcelona. Get in there cheap. Loans, sells, the lot. I think this is what seems to have happened in the summer is no one wanted to get mugged off, ripped off for their players. They didn't end up selling the players they had to sell, and they're just sitting on them in their squads now. And now they're going to get rid of them they're going to take a loss from what they would have been offered previously in the summer. It's stupid.
So who are the 5?
I don't even know. It said 5, but one of them was Dembele. The chances.
Ousmane Dembele, Samuel Umtiti. What's the other one? Griezmann's the list on there.
Braithwaite, Alina, and Firpo.
Yeah. Firpo was. They got him. I can't remember what it was. Junior Firpo.
Yeah.
Junior Firpo, when they tried to sell him in the summer, didn't they? It's going to be a fire sale.
Simon's right. Griezmann as well. He's another one.
The thing is there really anyone that shouldn't be up for sale? The youngsters, Fati, Pedri, Puig, like these are ones that you maybe not sell, but the others sell. You got to sell. You're on big wages, silly money. You can put profit. You can make money from them. Just sell them. Yeah. Arsenal open to bringing in Dominic Szoboszlai in January, and have told RB Salzburg they will pay his release clause. It's only a 25 million release clause, which they're willing to take in instalments, which is ludicrous. 25 million instalments.
Well, we've actually said that.
Well, we said we're willing to pay the release clause. There was nothing about the instalments. It's RB Salzburg said they are happy to take the release clause in instalments, and that was something that they were happy to do when he was going to AC Milan. So it seems to be the same deal. There was talk that Milan is still interested, but his agent did actually come out and say that he won't be going to Milan, and that was due to the previous times when Milan were in for him. So the backstory onto that, Arsenal and AC Milan and Napoli were all in for Dominic Szoboszlai in and around the start of the transfer window. They all held talks. Arsenal and AC Milan had essentially agreed personal terms. He'd opted for AC Milan because Rangnick was meant to go. Ralph Rangnick was meant to be going to AC Milan, but then after they pulled out the Ralph Rangnick deal, the Szoboszlai deal was off the table, and that seems to be why it seems though his agent probably wasn't too happy about that situation. Because if you wanted to play, you wanted the player, not just because. Just because the manager wanted him, surely the club wanted him as well. He probably didn't appreciate that, messing the client around, so he won't be going to AC Milan. That's not to say he's going to be going to Arsenal, because there's going to be other clubs in for him. I think RB Leipzig was another club that were in for him, and obviously the move from Salzburg and Leipzig is very possible because they're feeder clubs, they're essentially the same clubs.
I think Leipzig is Leipzig's the danger one, just due to the fact that the
German speaking
feeder club.
Yeah, it would probably be the easiest transition for him. So yeah, there's going to be Arsenal won't be the only club in for him. But yeah, it seems like that's a deal that Arsenal are open to. It doesn't mean that our deal is off the table. They play in different positions as well. One can play as a number 8, one can play on the left wing, one can play central midfield, attacking midfield as well. So, but just wait until January, till it gets closer to there, to be able to see actually what clubs are going for. Right now, there's a lot of rumours, a lot of speculation. When it comes to January or near to January, that's when you'll be able to hear some real concrete stuff. Coming up halfway through December, you'll probably hear some serious movements on what's going to happen. But towards the end of this month is when clubs will know what positions they need, at least, and what they need to be getting rid of. Did you have any more on that, Si?
No, that's pretty much it, what you said.
All right, sweet. Kevin Campbell said that Celtic were tried to sign his son Tyrese Campbell in the summer before he opted to stay at Stoke. And Southampton are interested in signing Lask winger Hussein Balak. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. That was our ElClasico special. We had Joan Luque on earlier for Real Madrid. He scores when he wants. Thank you very much. Good luck, Nick. Maidstone will be playing on Saturday? There's no international break.
Yeah, I'm not
sure there's no
sure.
international break for them. So we could potentially be seeing Joan score another goal for Maidstone. He's in absolutely tremendous form at the moment. And if nobody kept up with our transfer deadline day special, Joan was actually on there and he hadn't had a club. He hadn't found a club at the time. He was actually waiting in his car to hear from potential clubs to sign. We had that all live. And it's really good that he then found a club and they've been tracking his progress since then. And he's doing brilliantly.
3 games, 3 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah, so, and player of the month in the Vanarama League in the conference.
Yeah.
So pushing Maidstone up in the league and potentially getting to that League 2 position that everyone dreams of in non-league. So yeah, well done, mate. Keep it up. I'd like to thank my panel tonight. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, everybody out there. Cheers. Thanks for watching.
Steve, giving us a little update on the old Man City. If you wanna get in touch with Steve, he's always open. Jump on his Twitter, asking questions about any team. He knows a lot about. He speaks to a lot of people from Liverpool, Manchester United, Man City especially is one. I mean, just check our record with Man City information. It's pretty spot on. When I say pretty spot on, it's spot on. Even down to the Messi one, where we said that Messi was going to Man City. That's because Man City thought Messi was going to Man City. Trust me on that one. And that will probably you'll probably hear that later on, whenever. But yeah, they fully thought that Messi was going to Man City, and that's what we were told. Things changed, but it's everything else that's been said has come to fruition. So yeah, if you want to know anything about Man City, go to Steve. Also, check out Jerome. We've got his show out every Tuesday at 8:00. Today's one, we filmed it today, was on Barcelona and Real Madrid special. Really good coming out. It should be, look forward to that. Thank you very much for your work tonight, Jerome.
Cheers, lads. Cheers, boys.
And down in our bottom right, he's down, but he's not out. He still goes strong.
Out.
And his teeth have stopped grinding. Thank you very much for joining us, Si. If you want any information about, Si's got a lot of information with Arsenal. Abuse him and I'll block you. I'll block you from every channel out there. Si's my boy. Don't say a bad word
I'll name
about
and
Si.
shame you.
Don't name and shame anyone, Si.
That's how you get them. Name and shame them.
Legals, all right? Legals. Go and ask him any questions about Arsenal. He gives you news. Everton, he's giving me news on. Chelsea's giving me news on. Man United, he's giving me news on. This guy's got it, man. He may seem a bit crazy, but he knows his stuff. You just got to swim through some of the rubbish. Thank you very much for coming on tonight, Si. Appreciate your time. I know it was hard for you not to say anything about Arsenal, not to swear, and you've done a good job, mate. Appreciate it.
90 minutes of my life I won't ever get back. No, it's all right for you three. You didn't watch it. Trust me. It's an absolute massacre.
Yeah,
It could have been 8.
Yeah.
It could have been 8.
Well, they scored 7 against Liverpool, so look on the bright side.
That's it, yeah.
Didn't they?
Steve, please don't be a gal. Please don't be a gal.
All right. Oh, you said a gal. I don't know who that is. And thank you very much. Thank you very much to the comments. We've got Broads TV. Thank you very much for joining us today, Broads. Jordan Villagara. Jordan, some brilliant write-ups. If you've not seen any of Jordan's write-ups, Jordan is a part of our team. He's been doing write-ups for us, and he's now doing write-ups for the World Football Index. Loving
Jordan.
Loving the progress here, Jordan. Keep it up, mate. Go and check out his works on the World Football Index, or you can go and check him out on our Instagram page right here. We've also got Issy Hussein asking for some Barcelona. Thank you very much, Issy. I don't think I've seen your name or said it before. Thank you very much. And Glenn Cook, thank you very much for joining us. He's a regular. Thank you for joining us. He's not happy about Lacazette. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. Make sure you share. The channel's growing. It will continue to grow. We've got a big January coming up, and we've got a big summer coming up. So you make sure you stick by us, because this is by far the best transfer page. Forget about all the others. Imitations will not apply. All right. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us. Peace out. Stay safe.